Hello, everyone. I'm Dwaynia, and welcome to our channel. This is our Ask the Expert segment, the funding edition, and it's brought to you by Pocketed. Now, who's Pocketed? Pocketed is a grant funding platform that helps businesses access the billions of dollars available each year in government funding and tax credits using their intelligent matching system. Sign up to gain access to grants for your business at the link in the description. Our expert today is Jamie Proctor Boyce. But before we meet Jamie, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on more videos like these. Also, submit your funding questions at the link in the description. Welcome, Jamie.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about Pocketed.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. So I'm Director of Growth here at Pocketed. We're a startup who is building technology to help companies get more free money from the government. As Dwaynia mentioned, there's $5.9 billion every year for Canadian business owners, small businesses, side hustles, startups. $5.9 billion in grants and tax credits. But those programs are totally decentralized across government websites of every layer, federal, provincial, municipal. There's also money out there in the form of business competitions. There's money that you can only access through your corporate tax return to the CRA in the form of tax credits. So it's all quite distributed, and there's lots of different eligibilities, application requirements, timelines, funding structures. So Pocketed is using technology to build software that puts all that information in one place. It intelligently lets you know which grant and tax credit programs are a fit for your business. And then we're building tons of amazing automation tools and intelligence tools to help you organize your grant applications, submit them more successfully. And then we also have a vendor marketplace. If and when you want to engage support, a grant writer, a tax consultant for a program, we can connect you with awesome folks that can help you get that job done. And I come to Pocketed, with a lot of investment in the vision. I was an entrepreneur for a long time. I ran a media production company. I've always worked with entrepreneurs, whether it was in publishing or hospitality. And then most recently, I was building funding programs for a Canadian nonprofit. And so I can really see the need for these programs, the impact that they can have on our society and on our economy. But there's also a great level of difficulty. Pocketed at times has absolutely been able to get more funding than we've actually realistically been able to use because of how complex the whole situation is. And so again, we want to make it simpler. We believe strongly that it doesn't have to be this hard. And so we're quite passionate about helping companies extend their runway with non-dilutive funding.
Wow. Well, everyone, we have a couple other videos that you need to go back and watch so that you can learn a bit more about Pocketed, learn a bit more about funding. And we're going to dive into some additional questions today. So, Jamie, what are some common requirements to access grants?
Yeah, great question. And I think that also speaks to what we're building here at Pocketed, which is a place where you can organize all the information that you're going to need for programs because you're likely going to need it again. So there's a really, it's like learning to ride a bike. It's really hard at first, but once you've done a few grant applications, it does get easier and easier and easier. And so I think if we just take one tiny step back, the important thing, one of our biggest tips here at Pocketed is that we want people to understand the government doesn't actually fund businesses, they fund projects. And so, yes, there are sometimes grants that are only for a certain industry. You have to be in retail or you have to be in clean tech. But really, at the end of the day, they want to hear about the project that you're asking for funding for, and they want to be able to link that project to the government's mandate, whether it's job creation, increasing representation in the workforce, digitizing your business so that you're more pandemic proof should, God forbid, this whole thing keep happening. There's all of these different agenda items that the government wants to drive, and they're looking to creative business owners to help those. And it's a beautiful dovetail, right? You need marketing for your business. And so we often say there might not be money out there that just is for marketing, but there's a ton of money out there to hire a marketer. The government can show that they're creating jobs, increasing employment access for certain underrepresented groups, giving students work experience before they graduate. But what you get is more marketing, whether it's a content calendar, SEO, whatever it is that you're trying to do. You, by creating a job, can drive your endpoint. And there's a lot of money out there when you create a role for someone to get whatever you want done. So again, it's really important to start thinking about, or rather understanding those government mandates when you are trying to articulate a project. So back to your original question, Dwania, I think it's important often to have like a project description. So that might be actually the business activities you're engaging in, or for many grants, it might be a job description or a description of the training you want money for to build marketing capacity in your existing team, right? There's tons of training grants out there. You don't have someone who knows SEO? Well, you can get usually $10,000 per employee per year from almost every single province in the form of training grants. So maybe you don't have to hire a new person. You just build that capacity in-house. So a description of that, whether it's the training description, the project description, the job description, companies are also going to want to know, rather, the program is going to want to know information about your company. So your mission, your vision, as well as things like, basic stuff that you should have at the tips of your fingertips. The tips of your fingertips? Really, it should be very close. Your business address, if you're incorporated, your business number, your date of incorporation. Sometimes it's really helpful to have information about your founders, who is behind the business. So those are some simple ducks that are helpful to have in a row and can often, again, be repurposed. If you're using it for one grant, there's no reason you can't use it again for another.
And Pocketed helps you organize all that so that you can fish out all that information instead of going into all the different files and folders and going, I need this.
Absolutely. We often say, our goal is to take applications that take hours to prepare. And in time, with our automation and our intelligence tools, you could be able to submit them in like 30 minutes. So some of those functions are live now in our platform, and there's a lot rolling out here in summer 2022.
Okay, look forward to that. Do you advise applicants to get grant writing support, and at what cost, if yes?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I think it's absolutely choose your own adventure. I mean, in some ways, that's why we're all entrepreneurs, is we want to be able to map our business's trajectory. We want to be able to map our day-to-day lives, how we want them to be. But it doesn't necessarily mean that there is a one-size-fits-all solution. So grant writing is absolutely can be a huge value. And we aim to make it really mutable here at Pocketed. So what I mean by that is that it's, again, absolutely free to set up a Pocketed account, and that will let you see all of the programs that your business is eligible for. Now, if you really want to save money, you can go through that list on your own. We host daily office hours here at Pocketed, so you can join me or my team on a Zoom call for totally free. It's like there's, a handful of people that attend every day, but we just talk about grants, and you can get that consulting free of charge. But maybe you want help winnowing that list down. So we absolutely offer paid consultations with professional grant writers. They're not actually even going to do any grant writing at that stage, but they're going to advise you on a grant strategy, which of those programs you should be pursuing. So that's just an a la carte service that you can do, and then go write those grants yourself. For larger grants, for large tax credits, it's very common to engage a consultant. But it ranges. So sometimes there's success-based pricing. And we do offer that here at Pocketed, where there are certain grants that we can write for you, and we only charge you our 20% fee if we successfully get you the money. So if you don't get the grant, you don't pay a cent. For other grants that we don't offer that service for, Sometimes it's an hourly grant writing fee. Sometimes it's a flat fee. But again, our grant consultants are super happy to chat with you because it is really the pricing is really dependent on the specific program and the level of support you want. I was meeting with a woman last week, and she had actually already written 80% of a grant application, but she was able to pay just an hourly fee, couple hours to a grant writer to help her write one final section and review the work that she had done. And it just cost her, less than $200. So it is quite flexible. And there's totally a bunch of free supports you can access, as well as we can have a discussion about paid supports before you're totally committed.
Okay, that's good to know that there's that extra support because, you have a mixed bag of people. Some might know nothing about grant writing, and some might have an idea of how to navigate the system and just need a little boost like you described with that lady. So
yeah,
it's really good.
Thanks.
We might have touched on some of this in another video, but do you get access to grant money right away after approval?
Yes, no, yes, no. So this is definitely one of the trickiest and most frustrating parts of grants, I would say, is the payment structure, is what's often a reimbursement structure. So there are a handful of grants that will give you money up front, but far and away, there is some delay. And so I think as a rule of thumb, it's okay to acknowledge that grants require some amount of cash flow. You often have to pay, for example, a student if you're getting a wage subsidy, and then you're reimbursed. Now, some programs will give you a few payments. They'll pay you halfway through, and then they'll pay you at the end. And some of them take 15 days to pay you, some take 45. So again, it's very difficult to give an exact number of days or of weeks before you're going to get your reimbursement. Because again, there are over 1,000 programs open to Canadian entrepreneurs. But I will say that when you're thinking about grant funding and tax credits, which obviously are dependent on your tax returns, you want to be taking, if possible, sort of like an annual view. Right? You're definitely going to get the money, but you might need cash flow. Now, we have some great partners here at Pocketed who do grant lending, who will basically give you a loan against the value of your grant. Now, for all transparency, usually those lenders are not lending against small grants. Usually there's like a $50,000 or $100,000 threshold, but there is financing out there. If you have a guaranteed funding contract with an organization, a lender is often willing to loan you that money to cover your cash flow needs until the grant money comes in. So we're happy to chat about that at Pocketed, happy to introduce you to those lending partners because for the most part, we can figure out a solution to make it so that you can leverage the money you've been awarded.
That's something I didn't know of.
Yeah. So at Pocketed, it's the software that we're building is absolutely designed to make you more effective in your self-serve pursuit of grants. But we know that you often need partners. So the intake, it's free to create an account. It's free to get your list and start reviewing your options. Then if you want help managing those applications, you can upgrade to our Pocketed Plus subscription. So that's our premium software. If you click the link in the description, the referral code for CSBW gives you takes the pricing for our premium software down from $15 a month to $11 a month. And when you have that premium software, you're going to get all the bells and whistles of our database, better filters. It's also going to alert you when new grants are opening, closing, matched to your profile. And also in a few weeks, we'll have a lot more functionality in terms of managing and organizing your grant applications and giving you some intelligence about all of the most popular grants. But again, that software is self-serve, and we hear all the time that people want more support than that. So we do. We have tax consultant support. We have lending support. We have grant writing support. And just like Dwaynia, we work with a lot of partners. If you need legal support, if you need accounting support, if you need consulting support, we're super happy to refer you out to our vetted partners who will give you some great rates on their services.
I mean, in a nutshell, you're getting peace of mind and you're getting really good guidance from the people who have done all the hard work for you and just putting
Yeah.
it in a nice little package, pocketing it for you.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to start a business, right? And we need more community, and we need, particularly around non-dilutive funding, we need more transparency. There's
Yes.
no reason that this should be as opaque as it is. And so for free, Pocketed is hopefully illuminating those grant opportunities for you. And then you can decide if you're going to dig in on your own and start doing, the research of each grant one by one on your list,
Mhm.
or if you're going to come to us for some more support. You can opt in, you can opt out. But we absolutely hope that the core function of letting business people know which grants they are eligible for will be free and will remain free. That is definitely our offering to the entrepreneurial community. We want to save you the time of going to 900 different government websites. And so that's Pocketed's free account, and it's pretty powerful.
Wow. On that note, we will end this video and make sure that you go back to watch the other videos that we've had talking about funding. And if you have questions, be sure to submit them at the link in the description. Thank you so much to Pocketed for being our sponsor for this segment. Thank you so much, Jamie, as well, for dropping all these gems for us. And everyone, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, let us know your thoughts of this segment, and remember to submit your questions because we want to hear from you. Have a wonderful rest of your week and go get some funds.